The framing of Teresa Weatherspoon's life as a tragedy is misleading, because her story is actually one of resilience, leadership, and long-standing influence in women's basketball rather than hidden downfall or personal devastation. Teresa Weatherspoon is best known as a former elite point guard who helped define the early era of the WNBA with her defensive intensity, leadership on the court, and ability to deliver in high-pressure moments that shaped the identity of the New York Liberty franchise. Before her professional career in the WNBA began in 1997, she already had a strong international and collegiate background, including representing the United States and winning an Olympic gold medal in 1988, a moment that established her as a world-class competitor long before women's professional basketball gained mainstream visibility in the United States. Her playing style was never centered on scoring volume but on control, defense, court vision, and an unmatched competitive spirit that made her one of the most respected floor generals of her generation. One of the most iconic moments in her career came during the early WNBA seasons when she hit a memorable half-court buzzer beater in the playoffs, a play that became symbolic of her ability to perform under pressure and helped elevate the visibility of the league during its formative years. Throughout her time with the New York Liberty, she became a cornerstone of the franchise, earning admiration from teammates, opponents, and fans for her leadership, toughness, and consistency on both ends of the floor. After retiring as a player, Weatherspoon transitioned into coaching and player development, continuing her involvement in the sport she helped popularize, which reflects continuity rather than decline in her professional journey. She has served in various coaching and mentorship roles, including working at the collegiate level and later moving into professional coaching opportunities, where her experience as a former elite point guard has been used to guide younger athletes in understanding game management, defensive structure, and mental toughness. Like many former athletes who transition into coaching, her career evolution demonstrates adaptation and continued relevance within the sport rather than any form of personal collapse or hidden hardship. In 2023, she reached another milestone in her basketball journey when she was appointed head coach of a WNBA team, a recognition of her long-standing contributions to the game and her reputation as a respected leader in basketball circles. Although coaching careers in professional sports can be highly volatile and subject to organizational changes, her involvement at that level further reinforces her status as someone who has remained deeply connected to the sport across multiple decades. Over time, Weatherspoon has also been recognized for her broader impact on women's basketball, particularly in how she helped shape the identity and competitiveness of the early WNBA, where players were not only athletes but also ambassadors for a growing league still establishing its place in professional sport culture. Her legacy is frequently discussed in terms of defense, leadership, and pioneering influence, especially for younger generations of players who look at her career as an example of how impact is not limited to scoring statistics but also includes intangibles like leadership, discipline, and clutch performance. The narrative of tragedy often used in online content about public figures like Weatherspoon is typically driven by attention-seeking headlines rather than factual reporting, and in her case, it overlooks the reality that she has maintained a respected and active presence in basketball for decades. Her post-playing career reflects a continued dedication to mentoring athletes, shaping teams, and contributing to the development of women's basketball at multiple levels, from youth and college programs to professional leagues. She is also widely respected for her role in expanding the visibility of women's sports during a period when opportunities and media coverage were far more limited than they are today. Many analysts and former players credit her with helping establish the competitive identity of early WNBA teams, particularly through her leadership of the New York Liberty, which became one of the league's most recognized franchises in its early years. Her influence is not only measured in awards or statistics, but also in the cultural foundation she helped build for future generations of female athletes. Even today, discussions about the evolution of women's basketball often include her name as part of the foundational group of players who helped the league survive and grow into a globally recognized professional competition. Rather than a story of heartbreak, Teresa Weatherspoon's life represents endurance, impact, and sustained contribution to her sport, showing how an athlete's influence can extend far beyond their playing years into coaching, mentorship, and historical legacy within the game.